sing. But what is the difference between singing and speaking? Why, it is only the sound of the words. Long ago, in my past, I learned to speak the sound of words. And I will tell you a story about how I saved a young woman from harm with this ability to speak in words. Why, there she is there. Her name is Dona Rosita. Here is how I came to be with Dona Rosita. Long ago, in the country of Spain, there lived a soldier, and he was brave and he was handsome, and he was not afraid to fight for king and country. One day, he was called to fight in the war against the Moors. And before he went to the market, and there he saw me in my cage. And he said to my seller, "That blackbird will be just the one to keep my young wife company while I am away fighting in the war." And so he brought me home, and he gave me to Dona Rosita. And he said to her, "This blackbird will be your companion while I am at war. But you must promise me that you will not go outside the house, for there are Moors and brigands everywhere, and it is not safe." I heard her promise, and then I saw him leave, letting one foot follow the other, off to fight the war. Well, Dona Rosita and I were happy. She took good care of me. She fed me, and she talked to me, and she let me sit with her on the balcony every day and watch the people go by. One day, while we sat there, I saw a Moor go by. He had a wicked look in his eye, and when he looked up at Dona Rosita, I saw lust in his heart. I thought, he wants to kidnap her and take her away to Africa with him. Well, every day he went by. It happened that we had a woman who went and did our shopping for us. Every day she went out. One day I saw the Moor, and he looked different. He had put on the clothes of a Spanish grandee, and he was lightening his skin color. When the old woman, who was our servant, came out, he approached her. He said, "I am Don Elalio. I am a rich merchant, and I will give you this bag of gold if you will just arrange for me a few minutes with your beautiful mistress." The old woman saw the bag of gold. Her eyes became big with desire. She came inside, and she began to have a scheming look about her. Eventually she said, "Dona Rosita, my given to a poor baby? Dona Rosita said no, but the old woman knew how to coax, and finally Dona Rosita came in. The old woman dressed her in her fine white skirt and her flowered blouse, and then she gave her a gold mantilla to wear in church. I heard them go to the door. I heard the key turn in the lock. I heard the door creak, and I called out, speaking in words for the first time, Dona Rosita, don't go. I will tell you a story. Dona Rosita came over. She sat down. She would not go with the old woman that night. Listen, Dona Rosita, listen to the story. Well, once upon a time, in the country of Spain, there lived a fisherman, and he was poor, but he was rich in that he had a beautiful, clever daughter. Listen, Dona Rosita. Well, that daughter lived in the house while he went out to fish. One day while he was fishing, he caught a beautiful fish called a cuidado. He said, this fish will be just right for my daughter. And he put it in a pail of water, and he brought it back to her. Listen, Dona Rosita, listen. Now, the cuidado was so happy to be with Mariana that it began to sing. It sang, over valley, over hill, boom, boom. Over river, boom, boom. Love travels far. Love travels far. Mariana was amazed. She could not believe her ears to hear a fish singing. She said, this fish should be shown to everyone. So she took it out on the porch and put its little bowl of water down, and sure enough, it began to sing for the whole neighborhood. Well, all of a sudden, down the road came a terrible, fierce red bull. It came to the fish, knocked over the dish and broke it, put the fish in its mouth, and ran off and disappeared. Listen, Dona Rosita. Well, Mariana was sad. She went into the house and wept and wept. But in the morning, she put on her shawl and she said, I will go and find my cuidado. I will follow its song until I come to where it is. So she went, over valley, over hill, over mountain, over rill, until she came to the king's palace. Then she sat down under a cork tree. This is where I closed my beak. I would not say another word. Dona Rosita said to me, what happened then? Do you want to know? Yes, she said. Will you say yes? Yes. Well, then it's time for me to stop. So I closed my beak and would say not another word, and Dona Rosita had to go off to bed. But I had kept her safe for that night. Well, the old woman was soon in the street again, and soon the wicked Moor was there. He said to her, you remember me, I am Don Hilario. and I have promised you this bag of gold, but you did not bring your mistress out for the few minutes." The old woman's eyes again grew large at the bag of gold. She came in, and soon she was scheming again. She said to Dona Rosita, "Dona Rosita, my granddaughter could not bear to have the christening without you, so won't you come tonight? It would be such a kind act for you to come and be godmother to the baby." Dona Rosita again at first said no, but the old woman coaxed and coaxed until she agreed. Again the old woman dressed her in her fine clothes. Again she gave her the gold mantilla. Again they went to the door. Again I heard the lock turn. Dona Rosita, don't go. I will tell you the story. Sit down." Dona Rosita sat down a second time, and I began the story again. You will remember, Dona Rosita, that Mariana had followed the Cuidato's song to the king's palace, and now she sat under the cork tree. She heard all kinds of stories of the prince, the Infante, and how he had gone raving mad. He had come back from walking in the kingdom, and now he was raving mad. There was a reward for healing him. Mariana said, "Maybe I could heal him. Maybe I could heal him." Well, soon an old woman came down the street. She was carrying a little child. It was the Virgin herself. She said to Mariana, "Maybe you could heal him if you do what I tell you to. You must dress yourself as a gypsy and go to the king and say, 'I know a great enchantment to cure the Infante.' Then have a pot of oil put on the hearth so it will boil, and put in it 3 sprigs of sage, and put in it whatever you find under the prince's pillow." So Mariana had herself before the king, and everything happened except the king said, "You may try, but if you fail, I will kill you." She was brought to the Infante's room, and there he was, raving mad in the bed. And a pot of boiling oil was set there, and she put in 3 sprigs of sage, and then, Dona Rosita, she went to look under the Infante's pillow. Here, I closed my beak again. Dona Rosita said, "What happened there? What was under the pillow? Do you want to know?" Yes, she says. "Then it's time for me to stop." I had protected her for the second night, and she had to go off to bed without hearing the rest of the story. Well, soon enough, everything happened again. Don Hilario met the old woman in the street. He showed her the bag of gold. The old woman schemed again. This time she went to Dona Rosita and said, "Dona Rosita, is it not true that the road to heaven is paved with kind acts? Is it not a kind act for a rich woman like you to come and be a godmother to a poor infant?" So Dona Rosita gave in the 3rd time. They went to the door. I heard the key in the lock. I heard the door open. Dona Rosita, don't go. I Dona Rosita, do you remember that Mary Anna was going to look under the Infante's pillow to see what was there? Well, she went to the pillow and lifted it up, and there was her cuidado. Donna Mary Anna was so sad. Her beloved cuidado would never sing of love again. She lifted the shriveled dead body up, and she brought it over to the pot of boiling oil and dropped it in. All of a sudden, a great black smoke came up from the boiling oil. It took the form of a black and wicked Moor. Mariana was terrified. She said, "If the king does not kill me, this Moor will." Then, Dona Rosita, deep in her mind, she heard the voice of the sad-faced woman, the Virgin herself. It said, "Do not be afraid. Push him into the pot of boiling oil, and if he rises again, push him a second time, and if he rises again, push him a third time." So Mary Anna took all her courage, and she went to the smoke figure and put her hands on his hot smoke shoulders, and she pushed with all her might, and the Moor fell back into the oil. But then, listen, Dona Rosita, he rose again, and he came back bigger and more wicked than before, and she pushed him a second time. And then he came back again a third time, and his eyes glowed like burning coals, and his face was the face of a fiend. And with all her courage, she pushed him a third time, and then she was safe. All of a sudden, she heard singing. It was the song of the cuidado. Over valley, over hill, boom, boom. Over river, over rill, boom, boom. Love travels far. Love travels far. Dona Rosita, the Infante was singing. He was singing the song of the cuidado. And he was looking at her with shining clear eyes, no longer raving mad he was. He was looking at her with love in his eyes. Well, the king and all the courtiers came in, and they were so happy to see the prince healed that the king promised, Donna, that the king promised that Mariana could marry him. And so they were married. And at the wedding, the prince told how he had wandered through the country singing his songs as he loved to do, and how he had passed the wicked wizard's castle, and the wizard could not stand to hear a happy song. So he turned him into a cuidado and threw him in the river, where Mariana's father found him. And when the wizard saw that he was sitting on Mariana's porch and singing still, he sent the red bull to kill him. But the bull could not kill him. He could only kill the body of the cuidado. And the prince came back to his own body. And he came back to the palace raving mad from the experience. And that is where Mariana healed him. And that is where I stopped talking. For I heard again the key in the lock, because there was a great pounding at the door. And And then the door swung open, and it was Dona Rosita's soldier husband back from the war. Dona Rosita ran to him and embraced him. And I had finished my story. And we, Dona Rosita and her soldier husband, and I, the blackbird, we lived happily together. And as for the old woman, she never got her gold. And as for the baby, it never was christened because there never was a baby. And as for the Moor, he had to go back to Africa without Dona Rosita. And as for whether or not I ever spoke again, that is a story for another